The Viewer Top Talkers. Folks, this weekend marks a dark and painful period in New Orleans history. It has been 10 years since Hurricane Katrina made landfall. Across the Gulf Coast region, more than 1,800 people were killed, and at least 1 million forced from their homes. When the storm hit the coastal cities, it was a Category 3 storm. And while Katrina caused widespread damage across Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, New Orleans was hit the hardest. Several levees buckled under the storm surge, flooding 80% of the city. However, 10 years later, signs of rebuilding have taken on many forms. But despite a resurgence of business, tourism, and culture, the work of recovery continues, especially in poor communities, as the past is still very much alive. And the tragic memories of Katrina's wrath still very strong. It's really hard to believe that it's been 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
And there was, obviously in the aftermath, there was a lot of discussion about, how the federal government handled the situation. I remember very clearly members of my parents' church at the time. I think they were still going to Northdale Baptist Church.
Yeah.
I believe that there were members of the congregation there that were bringing people in from New Orleans that were displaced from the storm. They went to the Superdome for a while. That was a temporary shelter, but you can only stay there so long.
Exactly.
So people started leaving New Orleans, leaving Louisiana, and coming as far as New Mexico, other cities where they had friends, families, and other people in churches opening up their homes to give these people a temporary home. So 10 years on, it's hard to believe. But it is great to see New Orleans rebuilding. Many people say it's a much stronger city. It's a beautiful city, an icon of America. And, on this weekend, we reflect a little bit on those that we lost, but also the endurance of the human spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Instagram is giving us the updated feature that we've been waiting for years. They are now thinking outside the square. That's right. You no longer have to have the awkward conversation of why you had to cut your friends out of a photo, because the latest Instagram update allows us to post both portrait and landscape photos. On Instagram's blog, they say, quote, "Square format has been and always will be part of who we are. That said, the visual story you're trying to tell should always come first," end quote. Not only are pictures getting the update, but now videos can be more cinematic than ever. When choosing a photo or video, you can tap the format icon to adjust the orientation to portrait or landscape instead of square. So finally, you all can see how truly tall Chad is and how wide I am. We actually we took our first photo, so go over to our Instagram and you can see it.
You added that one thing though. It's like the carnival mirror effect, right? Where I look much shorter and you look much wider than we are in real life.
Yes.
It was a carnival mirror effect. I think it's cool. I always wondered why Instagram limited it, the image, because it's right. People, especially, smartphones, they have become the tool of choice for a lot of photographers because it's so quick, so accessible.
And you used to have to back up.
Exactly.
Well, now they have the, on the camera you can choose the square setting. But now if you want to share the entire photo, you can, which is really nice.
Yeah, and if, photographers are all about composition, and if you weren't able to get the composition you were looking for in the square, you finally open it up. You are Instagram, you're about photos, so let photographers do what they want to do.
And it doesn't look that different. Well, like I said, go over to our Instagram, we posted one already.
Yeah, but you said you have to update the app on your phone.
I wonder if, I don't know if you have to update, you have to update it to get, so that you can post portrait and landscape photos, but I don't know if you have to update it to actually see it. So somebody let me know.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. All right. This is just going to be a lot of fun here. Brittany, manspreading.
Yeah.
Manspreading. You heard this term? I had never heard this term until this morning, but apparently it is so popular. It's an official word. So is hangry and awesome sauce. Now, I've heard those last two. Those are just a few of the dozen of new words, phrases, and acronyms added Thursday to the Oxford Dictionary online version. According to Oxford University Press, the words represent newer terms judged most significant and likely to stand the test of time. Manscaping is going to stand the test of time, folks. In addition, the additions include Cat Cafe, onboarding, Grexit and Brexit. Now, those are two words Brittany and I have never heard before. Also, several new terms with Y endings, including Jeffy, Melty, Cidery, and Cupcakery. I believe there's some cupcakery afoot.
So, Chad, what is manspreading?
Okay, so manspreading is, and you know, maybe we haven't heard it because we don't have a huge mass transit
Yes.
system here in New Mexico.
Yeah.
But maybe folks in Chicago, New York, anywhere that they have subways, mass transit systems, it's when a guy is on public transit and he does one of these numbers and, you know, spreads out to prevent others from sitting in the seats next to him.
Oh, I call that rude. But other
That's
people
already in
call
the
it
dictionary.
man-spreading.
Man-spreading.
Got it.
So it is now officially a word. I'm glad that hangry is in there. I know we have one producer in particular that works here at Tukasa and KRQE. She will be the first to admit that if she doesn't eat, she gets hangry.
That's how I am.
Do
It's
you?
like
You get
if I'm in
hangry?
a bad mood, that's the first thing Topher says is, "Hey, let's go eat something."
You're not you when you haven't eaten anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have a Snickers or better yet, a Papa Murphy's. There you
right.
go.
Pizza.
That'll kill hangry in a second.
Yes.